He's new.
All right. Salty Sea Dog is connecting, right? And Gizzy's here. Good boy. He missed last week's. Colonel's on the subs bench just in case. I don't know whether Liverpool or Chelsea need him. Right. Who we got there? Now, where? Hello, Gizzy and Salty Sea Dog. This is. What was your name again?
My name's David.
Hello, David. I'm David as well.
Hi, David.
Hello, David.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
David, we've got David Trainer as well.
Yeah.
Along with David Hilder and David Gizzy and David Smith. and also Colonel David.
But Dave, I'll just tell you a story. Joined Oriana in 1974 and became part of the team. There was David, who's on now, David Stott. There was David Stevenson. There was David, who was the crew AP, and there was David Mother Burley. We were all in the bureau at the same time.
Hello? Love it. Yeah. And we've got David Zachary just come in as well.
Hi, Gizzy.
Hi, Raimondo, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so good to see you.
Oh, thank you. That's so much pleased to see you.
I've already had a text from Colonel to say use the correct names. Blimey, he's not even in the flipping thing at the moment. He's
just
giving
as
me
a matter of interest,
already.
Watching the bloody football.
Dave, just as a matter of interest, I don't know if any of you have heard, but old long-lasting P&O shipman, pal of mine on the Pacific Princess, who's well known for his Orion and Canberra days, Jeff Pappin, the plumber, passed away today.
Yeah.
Great bloke. Great bloke.
Sorry. Jeff the plumber.
Jeff Pappin, yeah.
Yes, I got an email from Peter Pratt. He's coming on and he's going to talk all about him. But I got to get back to the football. So, Dave, you're in charge. But don't forget the correct name.
Colonel, you're meant to be a professional here. You're giving everybody a bad name. Look.
Tell the Colonel his TV's about 30 seconds behind.
Shit. Hang on. I've lost you. Hang on. There we are. It's all right. The technology, you know, when you press a button and all of a sudden all the faces on the screen disappear. I can still hear the voices, but I've found you all. Right now, Salty Sea Dog David, a very warm, special new welcome to the crew bar.
Thank you very much.
Lovely. Now, David, are you sat on your bar stool comfortable?
I am. Lovely.
Now, Fruity knows you as well. You've got your the refreshments. You've got your lubricant. Lovely. Lovely. Now, David, not yet. We'll wait till we've got a few more in the bar, but we will ask you know how you are and in what ships you were on, but only a brief resume when we get to it. All right, just to prepare yourself. And also, do you have a discharge book?
I do.
Lovely. Right. Well, your photograph it'll be well appreciated if you can send it through to Colonel on the crew bar WhatsApp or on the messenger or the email, obviously, and then Colonel will put your face with all the others at the start of the next crew bar recording.
Right. Okay.
All right. Now don't get
David,
nervous.
if you
Don't add any extra makeup. We want you the way you are. All right?
David, if you have a problem with that, send it to me on Messenger and I'll get it to him.
Okay. Okay then, Dave.
Yeah, that was Dave to Dave on behalf of Dave. Thanks for that. Lovely.
You're trying to upset the Colonel again, Dave.
I know.
Which one?
Hey, Hilda, it doesn't take a lot, does it? No, Zachary,
Yes.
that's all we wanted to hear. Are you all good?
I'm great.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Lovely. Right. Now, are you excited?
Can't wait to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've seen Gizzy because he missed you last week.
Yep. Yeah, Gizzy, I can't wait to talk to you.
You're not going to let out any more secrets, are you?
No, yeah, I've got a long list of secrets.
Remind me.
There's one thing that I always remember. You used to embarrass the hell out of me. John Eden, Joanne.
Yeah.
She always when I first started working, one of the nicknames I had of many was Strawberry Daiquiri, because Zachary rhymed with daiquiri, and I often blushed. So Joe nicknamed me Strawberry Daiquiri. And sometimes when you were a bartender and I was a steward, you had this habit, if there was a pretty girl that I was delivering a drink to, you tie two cherries together by the stalks and hang them over the straw. And
I don't believe that. I think you used to do that and blame me.
No.
Welcome to Stu and Scotty. Welcome both of you.
Evening all.
Scotty, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, all right, Jim. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, you heard news about Jeff Pappin?
I haven't, no.
Jeff passed away over the weekend. You remember Jeff the plumber?
Yes, yeah, I remember him well. He,
married Pat Mattea, didn't he? I don't think they're still
no, I don't know.
together, but he married Pat the casino girl.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember her well. She was all right. She had a half English, half American accent.
Half Cornish.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was a nice chap.
Now, Sue,
Yeah.
lovely to hear and see you this week again. Now you remember Ray Zachary, don't you, when he was probably young and innocent?
He was a bellboy when I was working in the beauty salon on the Sun Princess. And then I came back on the Sun Princess in cabins, and you were a PRS then.
And what was your last name, Sue?
It was Sanders Jones.
Okay.
Sanders Jones.
I was on the Sun Princess from March 78 to sometime in 1984. I can't remember exactly when I left in 1984.
Yeah. I remember when you were a bellboy. When I came on the Sun Princess, it was my second ship.
Oh, really? And I can remember when I was a bellboy too. That was quite the interesting job.
The belletters, we used to call them.
Yeah, my first day on the job, I actually walked in on a couple of passengers that were having sex.
What in the international lounge?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ray,
We all done that. It's usually a cabin, mate.
Ray, you live in Canada, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
But my husband's from Alberta, and I lived in Canada for 12 years before I moved to Spain.
Oh, did you? Okay, yeah. My wife was originally born in Alberta, in High River, Alberta. High River.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're outside Vancouver now?
I'm in Powell River. It's up the coast from Vancouver, on the Sunshine Coast, opposite Vancouver Island.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. And now you live in Spain.
Yeah, I moved here because my mother moved my father to Spain 4 years back for his health, and then she got older, so we moved here for them, and we've stayed ever since.
Oh, cool.
All right, are you near Lynn Canyon?
No, Lynn Canyon is north. So when I say north of Vancouver, it's actually up the coast. It's about a 5-hour drive, 2 ferries, or a 25-minute flight. And it's almost directly opposite Campbell River. And many of you will, if you've done the Alaska cruising, you'll know Campbell River because it's one of the major cities or towns that you pass about 10 o'clock in the evening when you sail from Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Which a lot of us are familiar with. Now, Salty Sea Dog, we will wait till the football's finished, where we'll get a few more faces coming in.
Okay.
But are you familiar with Alaska cruising, Dave?
Yeah, I did Alaska on Island Princess and Pacific
Salty
Princess.
Sea Dog, Dave.
Yeah.
Are you David Stott?
I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do remember you.
Yeah.
Maiden Voyage PP.
Oh, right.
Weren't you assistant purser?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you then?
I was public room steward in those days, along with Scotty.
All right.
We joined in Newport News.
Oh, that. Did you do the dry dock there?
Yes, we were 3 weeks there, I think, weren't we? Before
quite a few weeks. We had to walk along a yellow line to get out the dock. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes, yeah, very well. Well, I didn't walk along it much of the time, but yeah, we did the maiden cruises out of Tampa, didn't we? A couple of cruises out of Tampa and Galveston, Texas.
That's right. It was Galveston. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
David, I found a photograph.
I see it, Dave. Yeah.
It's either 74 or 75.
It was 74.
I think that is just before we went skinny dipping in the Plough Tavern pool.
Was it? That was Mediterranean cruising, wasn't it? In 74?
Yeah, I think it was. Mother Burley and I've forgotten what the senior WAP's name was now. They didn't actually join us, but
was it Judy Smythe that was senior WAP?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't Judy. And her name at the moment I've forgotten, but in the photograph is top left is the Welsh guy, Gareth Hopes.
Yeah.
Then senior WAP, then Mother.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the other girl's name, and then Tattershaw.
Yeah, lovely.
Steve Mann, me, Vince Bellum, and I think it's Paul Fletcher at the bottom. Right, try and move out of the way.
Oh, it is Paul Fletcher. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, Steve Mann's on the bottom, isn't he?
Bottom left.
Yeah. Got it.
Prue Barlow, David.
Oh, that's right. It was. Yeah, I remember that. So,
oh God, that's
who's the girl next to Fingers?
I can't remember, but she was a WAP, and I it's not Pam Lines, is it, Dave?
No. Pam was smaller than that, but similar sort of hair.
Yeah. But it's Tattershaw next
to me.
Yeah.
Did you know I met Linda about just before COVID? She came over to England.
She told me, yeah.
It was great, actually. It was just like stepping back in time, Dave. Do you remember
what ship was that again, Dave?
That's Oriana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was either Medi Cruise in 74, I think, because you left after that, didn't you?
I did, because I joined in 73 out to Australia, and you joined when we got back, didn't you?
No, I joined in February 74 in Sydney.
Oh, did you? Right. Okay.
Yeah, for the last cruise of Aussie Cruising.
Yeah.
And then we came back to the UK, did Medi Cruising, and then the line voyage back out, and then Aussie Cruising 75. And then when we got back to Southampton, I transferred to Canberra.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I left at the end of Medi Cruising at the end of 74.
Yeah.
That's right. But,
so Derek, did you sail with Salty Sea Dog Dave?
His name's Scotty.
Is that me? No.
Well, this is a
You
chance
did, Derek.
to
Maiden voyage PP.
Derek.
Oh.
His name's Scotty, Dave.
right. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, is that the absent Colonel speaking?
No, Colonel. I don't know where Colonel is. He's in amongst the crowd somewhere in the flipping
He's watching the
Wembley at the
football.
moment.
Well, tell him they're about a half minute behind the UK if he wants to know the score.
I don't know who's ahead of who at the moment. It's we're trying to be discreet here, but I've got 4-4 at the moment.
Yeah, it's 4-4.
There's 4-5 Liverpool, Dave.
4-5.
5-5 now.
Oh, Liverpool have gone one up.
No, it's 5-5 now.
5-5. Oh, shit. Oh, goal. 5-5. Right. 5-5. I know, Sue, I know you're desperate to hear these score lines coming in. We'll get them to you as soon as we can. Hey, Sue, but more about the rugby yesterday then.
Don't even talk about
No,
the rugby.
you should be flipping proud, but seriously, only because we just won but Wales came back really well, really well. So we hope you win your next game, whoever that's against.
Yeah, they're not doing that well.
No, it's all right. It's okay. And Ollie's coming in. But Ray, do you keep an eye on the sports back in the UK?
No, I sent a text to the Colonel because I'm an embarrassment to the British and to Canada because I've never been to a soccer match, I've never been to a rugby match, and for the Canadians, I've never been to a hockey match. And I don't watch sports at all. I've never even watched the Olympics. I'm terrible.
well, we're amazed you look as fit as you are.
Well, I do actually. I do take care of my own personal fitness. That's why I'm not sitting in front of a TV watching the sport.
and Adrian, do you obviously from the backdrop you've got, you keep fit rock climbing, is that right?
No, definitely not. No, that's Zion Park.
Did you say rock?
I said rock.
Yes.
Thank you, David. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's Zion National Park in Utah.
Right. Okay.
My father had some relatives that lived out at Springdale in Utah, and we went there on a holiday when I was 15, just before I joined Arcadia.
Okay. Right. Okay. Got that. Now, another one who keeps himself very fit is Ollie. Have you been swimming this week, Ollie?
No, I've been swimming about twice this year so far. It's been too cold and too rough.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the sea conditions.
Yeah, too cold and too rough.
And I thought you liked both of that.
Yeah, well, I learned that, most of that from you to be cold.
Hi, Ollie.
Oh, yeah.
Ollie, Zachary's back again.
Yeah, get old Zachary.
You won't keep me off of here. It's too much fun. I've watched a few episodes of the old crew bars, and I was up till like 1:30 in the morning watching them. My wife thought I was mad. I was laughing so hard. She said she hasn't heard me laugh so hard in years.
Yeah.
It was one of them was where you had La Huerta's backdrop.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I think that might have been one of where were our favourite drinking holes, and the boys did go through saying all sorts of places, but obviously the Werters was lovely because it was quite handy, wasn't it? Straight out. Oh, blimey, now we got a real, this is John Trembling coming in, which is nice to see. We haven't seen him for a while. So hopefully we'll see John coming in very, very shortly. And he is coming in. He's coming in.
Trembles.
Here he is. Yeah, Trembles. He is coming in. Flipping heck. Now, Ollie, do you remember? You remember John Trembling, don't you, Ollie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah. Cameron, that. Cameron.
But I don't know, Ray. Do you will you remember? You will remember John when. Well, you won't remember him with a beard if he gets in.
I remember his name, but I don't remember who he was or what he did.
He was in the bars. Now whether or
there you
not,
go, he's there now.
Here he is. Here he is. John, can you hear us? He's just tuning in. Trembles, give us a wave and a nod when you can hear us. Just tuning in at the moment, because Trembles, Ray, has been back and forth over to where is it, to Geneva, where his daughter lives, and we've seen quite a few photos in the past coming back and forth from there. And that's obviously where Taffy was last week. He was in Lake Geneva.
Cool, beautiful there, beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. And now, John Trembling, can you hear us now? Or is he still tuning in? Still tuning at the moment. That's all right. So going back to Salty Sea Dog Dave. Dave, where do you live?
I live near Brighton now, just at Peacehaven, which is a few miles outside Brighton on the cliffs.
Ollie, are you familiar?
Yeah.
Ollie lives down at Worthing.
Oh, do you? Yeah, okay.
Along the Brighton Road, do you know it?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah. Well, right on the seafront there.
Right.
Ollie, do you still live in Brighton?
Yeah, well, I live in Worthing now, which is just outside Brighton. So it's
not far from Rodine, are
you? Miles away from Rodine.
Is this the new Latty?
No, not yet. No, I'm still waiting for that one. This is the old Latty.
Yeah, the old boner Latty.
I remember coming to visit you. We all got together at your house, but I can't remember what the reason was.
Was it
general mayhem?
Oh, that was that party we had when I was with one of my ex-girlfriend of mine. That was quite a good one.
It was that.
Hey, I'm doing your job. I'm putting people's names in it. Obviously, you guys are interested in football, so.
So, Colonel, has the football finished?
No, it hasn't. It's 9-10 right now to Liverpool.
9-10.
But I know Gizzy's watching it and he's ahead, so he could be the one to keep us updated.
Oh, Gizzy, just give us an update.
I'll let you know on the first miss.
Hey?
I'll let you know the first miss.
All right, love.
He's about 5 seconds ahead of us. In the meantime, just carry on. I'm watching. I'll change people's names. I do apologise for Anchor and not calling people by the correct names.
Talking about miss, I've got a picture of Jackie Seal. Do you remember Jackie Seal? Stewardess, and she was known as Miss.
Yeah,
I have. I've got it. When I found those pictures of you, Ray, it was in amongst them.
Yeah, I got a picture of her. She used to hang out with another PRF, and they were notorious for getting up to mischief and things like this. I remember they found out where Pat Reed stored his suitcase, and they filled his suitcase with potatoes, which had sprouted and grown by the time he went to retrieve it before he went on leave.
She did the same with us in our cabin, and I was sharing a cabin with lovely lad from Reading. Oh, bloody hell, what was his name? Steward. Phil Gorst.
Phil.
Yeah. and we were sharing a cabin down on Tween Deck, and we knew she was up to things. Is there a miss?
Chelsea goalkeeper's just put it over the bar. Liverpool have won.
I'm just about to watch that now.
12-11.
Is it still going as
No,
it?
that's it. 11-10. That's the first miss.
What 11-10 to
Liverpool.
Keller.
Liverpool keeper scored. Chelsea keeper's just put it over the top.
Well, that should be the end of it, shouldn't it?
It is.
So Liverpool won.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll turn it off.
All right, 11-10 to Liverpool. Sue, back in Spain, have you heard the final result?
No.
11-10 to Liverpool. So I know you're ecstatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
But anyway,
they're going to come in.
Patty's coming in. But yes, the potatoes. Ray and Phil Gorse and I had a sack of spuds brought into our cabin, and we were hiding in there, and we gave her a right, shock of a surprise, and she went out screaming, and we got a bollocking for scaring her. Well, I mean, hang on, she brought the spuds in,
Yeah.
Evening, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
Peter. Oh, I can't find the book. Oh, I've got the book upstairs, Peter. I can't do a promotion at the moment.
That's quite all right, Dave. Don't worry about it.
It's all right. And Taffy's come in.
All right, we're good now.
Yeah, Taffy's coming in. Trembles has been in, but he didn't get audio, I don't think. So hopefully he'll be back in again.
Yeah,
definitely. But so. Right, now actually there's a few more faces just coming in. Now, whether or not Pete Stevens is going to hold back until he's used all the tissues up, but with the Chelsea result, he might hold back for a minute.
Here comes Blackpool Bob, Dave.
Blackpool Bob. No, he went, oh, Pete's coming in. Pete's coming in. That's good news. Right.
Hey, Bob.
Hello. All right.
Hello,
All right.
Blackpool Bob.
What a result, eh? Hello, mate.
Unbelievable. Very good.
Yeah.
And
Fancy changing your goalkeeper, eh?
Pete, we'll have to watch the recording. Was it worth watching?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. I'm glad it was that goalkeeper, because he's a bit of a big head.
He's got his own back.
It was actually a very, very good game, to be fair, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It's brilliant. Fantastic game.
Were you watching it?
Yeah.
Good. Pete, Pat's just come in and told me the score. I don't know why. She seems happier than what I think you are.
Oh, cool.
Hang on, here she is.
I've just realised.
Sorry, Pete.
Oh.
Hi, Pat.
Very good.
Oh dear. Anyway, but Pete, at the end of the day, it's only a game.
No, I know it is.
Okay, I got a question for David Stokes. Do you want to be called Salty Sea Dog?
Yeah, don't just call me David. That's fine.
Okay, so the last time I spoke to you by text, you were in Key West, weren't you?
I was, yes, yeah. Got back about a month ago now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite interesting there because they've stopped all the large cruise ships going into the port. So now only the ships with less than 1,300 people on can actually dock there. So it's cut down the number terrifically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as Dave said, welcome to the crew bar, Dave.
Yeah, thank you.
Lovely. Is there anyone in the crew bar not called Dave? I just need to
know. Can someone talk to Steve, our crew bar director, please? He wants to say something. Steve?
No one's speaking to me. Oh, okay. I thought no one's speaking to me.
I know. I just did, Steve.
Not us who lost, we didn't play you.
Yeah. Who's this? Oh, hello, Steve.
Oh, hello, Canker Man.
Hello, Steve.
So you're doing the job again?
No, it's sorry. I just froze, which was peace of mind for all of you lot.
Right. Okay.
Oh, Charlie's coming in from Bermuda.
Yeah.
Charlie from Bermuda. How many we got in, by the way? I don't know.
Lovely. Lovely. No, we have got quite a few faces in, which is lovely.
Got 19, Steve.
It gives us a great opportunity to welcome Dave Salty Sea Dog Scott. Dave, give us a wave. There he is. Lovely. Now, Dave, welcome to the crew bar. And I know you've settled on your crew bar stool. Can you just give us a short brief, but only a short one, of when you went to sea, what ships, and when you left?
Yes.
What you were doing?
So I started on Oriana in '73, junior assistant purser, and then I sailed with Fruity in '74 on Oriana.
Well, I was on there, bloody. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you were. I said to you.
I'm getting excited, John.
Can I? Is this the right time to give Colonel a bollocking?
Yeah. I think you should. He's been swearing.
All right.
Carry on, Dave.
Yeah. So then, at the end of December '74, I went out to join Island Princess for the inaugural cruise on that, and stayed there a few months, and then went over when they bought Pacific Princess, as somebody said earlier, to Newport News.
Newport.
Was it Newport News?
Yeah, Newport News, Virginia.
Yeah, that's right, Kissy. Yeah, it was. And to do the refit there, and then did the inaugural on Pacific Princess. And then I stayed between the two Princess ships for the next 4 years. And then I left. So just 5 years with P&O Princess.
Excellent. And Pratty, did you sail with Dave?
No, I don't think I did. I was on Oriana 75, 76, 77, but I think David left by then.
Yeah, I never sailed with you, Peter, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. And then I was on Island Princess in 77, but you were probably on Pacific Princess then.
Yeah, I was, I think.
Yeah.
And then I left shortly after. Yes. Yeah, I left at the end. Actually, I left at the end of '76.
Yeah, so I think we missed each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
David, were you crew AP on the Pacific?
I was. Yes, I was.
Was that Australian cruising?
Yeah, I was.
Aussie cruising.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then I think
I definitely knew the name. I thought I was involved with you somewhere, crew AP.
Yeah, and then I went back to Island Princess after I left in Auckland. I think left Pacific Princess in Auckland and went back to Island Princess after that. And that was the time when the big kerfuffle happened with all the bar staff, if you remember, in Acapulco.
The Peter Pudney incident.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hang on. If it was a kerfuffle with the bar staff, it could have been any ship on any year.
Yeah.
Enlighten us.
Yeah.
Was that the IP 76?
It was the IP in '76, yeah, and all the London staff walked up the gangplank in Acapulco, and the shit hit the fan, and I think everyone was flown home from there.
I remember. Yeah.
The aftermath of that, Dave, was the purser on the ship at the time, Mike Smart. I don't know if you remember him.
I do remember Mike, yeah.
Yeah, well, when he got fired because of it, I was on leave in Brighton, and he phoned me up to ask me some advice, because he said I'd been through it all before on the Spirit of London. And he wanted to know, had I got any advice for him, and if he didn't come through it, did I want to start a window cleaning business with him?
Nice one. Hey, no, just to let you know, welcome, obviously, to Charlie in Bermuda. Taffy, I believe, are you still down south of France? I think. Thumbs up. No, but yes, you are. And also a very, very special welcome to Bobo, who we always get in every week, whether it's from here to around the world. And he's actually down in Australia now. So well done for getting down there, Bobo.
Yeah, all back safe.
Are you awake, Bobo?
Yeah, just about. Just
You
about.
don't really
I must
sound
admit,
it,
I'm
that's okay.
a bit jet lagged, but yeah, I'm just about awake. Yeah,
Okay.
going well.
Someone's trying to get in, it seems.
Sorry?
Yeah, I sent a message to John Tremont to send me his email. I'll send him a link to his email. See if that works better.
Yeah, I can't get my camera going at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, hey, John,
Oh,
it's good to hear your voice.
Yeah, I'm
Brilliant.
here.
Welcome back.
Might not be for long, but I'm here.
Yeah, excellent. Hey, so watch out what you're saying now, everybody.
Yeah, you Trembles.
Trembles is writing a book.
G'day, folks.
Okay, but you just need to turn his video on.
Well, I'll try that,
It'll
but it ain't
come.
acting.
It'll come.
Okay, all right.
It'll come.
Better be careful, we might all get flown on.
I've been in there before, so I know it'll work somewhere.
Yeah.
We did see you before, John, so that's a good start. So fingers crossed.
Charlie's in, Dave.
What's that, Pete?
Charlie's in from Bermuda.
I was just saying, I was going to say, Brendan, who's obviously not in for a few weeks, he's been doing a very sturdy, very special job looking after Sherry at home. But he will want to know what the weather's like, Charlie.
22 degrees today.
22. All right,
Oh,
we'll make sure that gets through.
Oh, never
to
mind.
Cooling down.
Yeah, even better. Hey, and a quick one for Taffy. The picture you took the other day, looking out onto off Saint-Tropez, I think, was amazing. You know, were you on? Did you manage to get the mobile home onto a pedalo?
Oh, you forgot to say hello to Sue, I think. Hello, Sue.
Hi, Duffy.
It's nice. It's nice
Hi,
to have
Sue.
some glamour. It's nice to have some glamour in tonight.
Oh, you're a darling.
Hey,
Stevie Watts is in. You're after glamour.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning,
We've
Stephen.
got
Say
more
good
in
morning
here
to
than what you
Bobo,
can get in the
Stephen.
Aussie
He's your neighbour.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, Bobo, how you doing?
We've got
Good,
more
mate.
tonight.
All settled
than
in.
we normally get. In Aussie
He's
bars.
done well. He's done well. He's done
Stephen
well.
sounds more awake than Bobo.
Yeah.
Are
Even better.
you
Even
both
better.
in Sydney then? Yeah, both in Sydney.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
am.
think-
Bobo is. Yeah, Bobo. Where are you? Sutherland,
Yeah,
Bobo.
I'm Guy Mere.
Guy Mere.
Done it. Now, for all of you that may have seen last week, we did have obviously a warm welcome to Ray Zachary, living up in Canada, and nice to see him. And we did hear a few stories. Ray, we will pop in and out to you just for another one down memory lane, because all of us have forgotten everything, but you seem to have remembered everything with great detail. So Ray, if you have got one more quick story to come in, we'll keep coming back in and out to you.
I've got one that actually is not even on my list, and that is, Sue, you made me think of this because you said that you were on the ship, on the Sun Princess, when I was a bellboy. Yeah. And I had only been there a couple of weeks, and I got called up to the purser's office, and I was working with another bellboy at the time, and the phone rang, and it was the purser wanted to speak to me, and he couldn't believe it. He's like, "Fucking hell!" He said, "I've never even seen the purser, and they want you to go to his office. What have you done?" Right? Well, what I had actually done was, the day before, I was delivering some stuff. I had to go down to the very bottom of the ship. I can't remember, it was like sea deck or something like this, to deliver something to a cabin. And then I had to go back up to the Union Jack bar to get pop or something to deliver. And as I was walking through the foyer, the elevator door opened, and there were 3 passengers got in. And I thought, shit, I'm not going to walk all the way up the stairs to the Union Jack bar. I'll just get in the elevator. But I've been told you weren't supposed to do that. And I got in the elevator, and the door closed, and there was these 3 guys in there. They all had sort of Hawaiian shirts on and shorts, and they just stared at me and made me feel so uncomfortable.
Frozen.
The silence. I finally said, are you enjoying your cruise? And one of them said, "Are you?" And I was like, Well, yeah, I've only been here a few weeks, and I just sort of talked about the job, and then the elevator reached the top, and the door opened, and it opened several times on the way up, but they hadn't got out, and then it got to the very top, and the door opened, and I got out, and they stayed in. And so when I got back to the pantry, I said to the guy I worked with, which I think was Dave Hall, I can't remember exactly, I said, I just met these three weird guys in the elevator. They were in at the bottom and they never got out, and they sort of asked me if I was enjoying my cruise. Well, the next day I get called up to the purser's office, and it was Dickie Bull, and I go into his office and he says, yesterday there were three gentlemen in an elevator that you rode on. Is that correct? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I just want to inform you, you're not supposed to use the elevator, but I'd like you to meet them again. And then he called them in, and it was Captain John Young, the chief officer, and the chief engineer. And they were all going off for lunch or something. And now they're all in their proper uniforms. But the funny thing was that he actually had them waiting outside for me to reintroduce them to me. So yeah.
I bet that was JY's idea.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, I think it was John Young asked me if I was enjoying my cruise.
It would have been.
Yeah.
Hey, but Ray, don't forget, you would have only looked about 12 years old at the time.
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah.
Well, at least you was being polite with the passengers, as you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Peter Pratt, we've obviously with the book, we're sort of reading on. You said that you were looking at planning for the trilogy, the third book. Have you already got your history prepared to be put into print, and waiting to go back to Spain?
I've got the history. Yeah, I haven't started writing yet, but I will be doing it when I go back to Spain, which will probably be in April, maybe March, probably April.
And when you get to Spain, is that near to where Sue lives?
No, it's quite a distance actually. I'm sort of between Fuengirola and Marbella, and Sue's right over at Alicante.
Yeah. Well, 5 hours, I think.
Is it about 5 hours, Sue? Yeah.
Is that 5 hours on Taffy's electric bike or by plane?
Peter up in Fuengirola in May.
Oh yeah.
And again, well, no, and then Torremolinos in September.
Oh right, okay, right.
Down at the Carawaya.
Yeah. Well, if I'll let you know when I know the exact date. So if anybody's going to be out there at that time, let me know. You know.
Well, at the moment, there's going to be about 17 or 18 of us at the moment, I
think. Peter, do you know Los Boliches?
No.
Just the other side of Fuengirola from you.
Oh, is it? Okay, right.
Yeah,
right.
I should be there in October, all being well.
Oh, all right. Well, I may well be there in October, Gizzy, yeah.
Yeah, my sister normally goes there for a month.
Oh, okay.
We go out and see her for a few days.
Well, we're only, so yeah, I mean, it's not very far. So
it's walking distance.
October's usually a month that I do tend to go, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's walking distance from Fuengirola, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Right, okay. Yeah, well, I normally just get the bus to Fuengirola, so, it takes 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be a good meet-up.
Yeah, it would. Absolutely.
Did you ever come across Lenny Turner?
No.
Well, Lenny was a public room steward I worked with for a number of years, actually. And then unfortunately, he's lost both his legs now and he's in a wheelchair, but he often goes out in October, which I think's tremendous credit to him. He's a hell of a job for him to go out there in a wheelchair. And he normally has about 3 weeks there. We meet up and have a we have a conversation,
Yeah. In the crew bar one time, wasn't he, Gizzy?
Pardon?
He was in the crew bar at one time.
He was in the crew bar for a spell, yes, yeah.
He
was my assistant on the Sea Princess for quite a while, but before that, I think he was on the Sun, wasn't he?
He was on Oriana as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Midship's bar.
Yeah.
And the Blenheim.
Right.
Oh, and the Blenheim, is that you, John?
Yeah, he sailed on the Blenheim as well. I met him on there.
Yeah, he was on QE2 as well, and I think he was on the old CP boats when they were going as well.
Ah. Okay.
I think some of the girls we work with.
Oh, well, I'll let you know, Gizzy, when I know some dates. Yeah.
Okay, Peter. Yeah, I mean that would be great. It'd be lovely to meet up for a beer.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it'd be good.
I'll get you to sign your book as well.
That's extra, Gizzy.
Signed by the author.
Just a matter of interest, I spoke to Colonel earlier today. Did anybody know a plumber called Jeff Pappin?
Yes,
quite
well.
P&O ships.
Yeah.
I got it off Mike Carr today. Captain Carr. It didn't come through P&O, but he passed away on February the 22nd, sadly, down in Cornwall.
Yes, it was on Facebook today, Peter.
Oh, was it? Oh, right.
Yeah, we were on the PP with him.
Were you? Yeah.
Lovely bloke.
He was a super guy.
Funny bloke too.
Nothing was ever too much trouble, you know.
Never.
He was a really nice guy.
He had a really dry sense of humour.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Was he ever on the Canberra? Does anybody know?
Yes.
I think he was. Yes.
Yeah. I think I know him.
Yeah, he was very cooperative. Nothing was ever too much trouble.
Fantastic Cornish accent. It was from Mousehole.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
and
Mousehole,
he was a member. He was a member of the. He was a member of the Penley lifeboat. He was in the RNLI.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
What at Mosul?
Penley. Yeah.
Penley.
Right. Yeah, we've been watching Cornwall on the TV of recent. They've been doing Taffy. They've been doing the train journey with Michael Portillo all around South Wales, and they went across the Welsh Channel. You know, the one you talk about.
What colour jacket was he wearing?
The pink number.
She just campers Chloe, dear.
I know, it's outrageous. It's great.
Just out of interest, Ray, you know, you mentioned early on when you're on the Sun with Johnny Eden, Joanna.
Yeah.
You know, he's passed on, did you?
Yeah, so it's very sad to hear that because
a number of years back.
He's another person that I actually knew John for many years on the Sun Princess. In fact, I've got another really great story about John, the day that he was looking for a real man and I was the real man. And
how do you know the truth there?
What's that?
I said, if only you knew the truth there.
Do I have time?
Yes, yeah. Go on, throw one in again, right?
He was he had gone out on a night on the town somewhere, and he had this brand new shirt on, and he was a bit drunk. And my cabin was called the Fish Tank. It was at the end of the alleyway, and there were two bellboy cabins up the alleyway. And I heard this sort of altercation going on outside, and I looked down the alleyway, and Joe was trying to force his way into one of the bellboys' cabins, and they were having none of it and trying to get him to go out, but he had his foot in the door, and he was really bugging them, and he wouldn't leave them alone. And I thought, I'll just lure him away. So standing in my doorway, I said, "Hey, Joe, never mind about those bellboys. Come down here for a real man." And then he immediately ran down the alleyway towards me. Unfortunately, I didn't get the door closed in time. We both fell into the cabin. The door closed. We were struggling with each other. He's trying to grab my ass and my cock and stuff like this.
Whoa. Time out, Ray.
But it's true. Hang on. And I was struggling with him, and I was like, "Joe, get off, come on, be serious." And then we fell against the light switch, and the lights went out. And now it was completely dark in there. And in the darkness, while we were struggling, I hear this loud rip, and we both stopped. I took that moment to turn the light on, and in struggling to get away from him, I'd ripped his shirt. And he was so upset with me. He stormed off down the alleyway, and a few minutes later he came back and he goes, and he threw the shirt at me. And he was so mad. And the thing is that I knew Joe for years and years after that. And eventually on the Royal, everybody, because there was a lot more younger people, everybody called him Mother. And he always said he would be chasing me around when he was in his wheelchair. Yeah, Joe. I was very sad to hear that he'd gone.
Yeah, Dave, tell him the story about his funeral with the camp bishop.
Oh yeah, at the funeral, and Steve was there, and obviously Gizzy and I were. I'm not sure if anyone else was.
Staff was, I think, weren't you?
Anyway, but
we eventually got to the right church, Dave.
We went to the right church, went to the wrong church, didn't we, to start with? And then, and Fruity. So when we found out it was the wrong church, we legged it to the other church, and we did get in there in time for the service, and we settled down, as best as we could. And then obviously the vicar, he started on giving the service, and then and he all of a sudden within the conversation he said, well, of course we know John will be up above us now, and she will be looking down on us. And of course, as he said, she's looking down on us, all of us all went, woo! Oh, it's great. But the family were brilliant. Was there a sister? I'm not sure. Was it a sister of Joe's? But the family all knew Joe, and the history of Joe at sea, and all the drag and everything, and it was fine. But it was just so funny hearing it from the vicar in the church, But
Didn't the vicar mention something about he was a flamboyant dresser, and we just said, well, we call it drag.
Yes.
I remember my first introduction to handbag. I was the crew service cook on the Oriana, and Joanne would come in there, and immediately she gave me a bunch of money to look after.
Taffy.
Yeah.
I actually was a very innocent 16-year-old, fresh out of Merchant Naval Training College, and a week after I left, I got my joining instructions. I had to go to Heathrow, join the plane, and when I got on the plane, one of the first people I met, and in fact, he was probably the second person I met that worked at sea, was John. And he introduced himself to me on the plane. He goes, hi, my name's John. And then when he got to the ship, it was, hi, my name's Joanne.
We've all experienced exactly the same thing. She said to me, when she went, Kiwi, like that, I said, hang on, what about this, John? She said, well, I thought, new ship, new image. Well, it didn't last long, dear.
It was always great if we had a cruise show, because he was always willing to do something, which always helped out.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I remember when he did the Hello Dolly bit for the John Young's This Is Your Life. And
yes. Yeah. Hey, that was with Cindy and Pratt. And MQ.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I will insert it right here.
Looking swell, Mary, I can tell.
thank you, Salty Sea Dog, for promoting Pratty's book. So if you could just move a second, so we can get 5 minutes promotion. There you go.
Right. Oh, wow. Look at flipping it. That's even better than mine.
Yeah. Thank you, Salty Sea Dog.
By the way, Peter, I've ordered 2 copies, but did you get the money yet?
I haven't had any money yet at all.
Well, I just read both your books and I passed them on to my daughter-in-law, who was a beautician on the, what was it? Well, several princess ships, yeah. So she didn't know. She said, by that name. I said, well, it's not his real name. I said, his real name's Pratt. So she said, oh, right, yeah, okay. So I don't know whether
if you have a name like Pratt, you don't write under it.
So Blackpool Bob, your daughter-in-law, was she Steiner's or CT, and what ships and when?
I'd have to ask her.
Okay.
I know she was on the Royal Princess, and she was on Alaska, the small one that used to go up to Alaska. But I don't know. I never asked her what the names were.
Was she a hairy or a body basher?
I think she was a body basher. Her name is Kim Eversfield. She was. She's now Kim Womersley, of course. But yeah.
Well, Tuffy, wonderful photo.
Yes,
that Ray was Joanna's wake in the local pub in Nuneaton.
Oh,
I wondered if he lived in Nuneaton, because I actually had Joe's address. It was one of the few addresses that I had, and it was in Nuneaton. And I should have tried phoning him, but there you go.
Well, they all know him in the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. There's Taffy's got the picture up there. Yes, yeah.
Still got the same flower in his lapel.
Yeah, and the boss was there, and obviously you can see Oscar and
that's Alan Bacon at the back, isn't it?
Yeah, Miss Bacon. Yeah, no, it was a good. It was a good day actually. The wrong occasion, but it was a good day.
Yeah, is his pub that night?
Yeah, is that the night he came to my pub?
Yeah,
Fish and chips.
You put us all fish and chips, mate.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes,
that was a good night, wasn't it? It was a good day and a good night. Yeah, we saw Joanna off in style.
Yeah.
We ended it with fish, dear.
So Steve down under, obviously you missed having an Aussie crew bar this morning, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought I'd missed it.
But you didn't.
Had me going there for a while.
Don't take the piss out of us senior citizens.
Yeah,
there's too many of you.
Just because I had a senior moment this morning.
I saw that, but
looks like the Colonel hasn't turned to. He said, "I thought, what the hell's going on?"
Because you all know, I mean, Zachary, you might not know, but they do an Aussie one every other week. So every other week.
At 1 o'clock in the bloody morning. And what happens next week when Mac is in Fiji and Stephen's down in Wollongong?
Well, hopefully, I don't know what's the time difference in Fiji, Steve, down under.
It's the same.
Mac will be back by then because he's only gone 5 days, I think.
Okay.
I think he's only gone 5 days.
I mean,
Charlie, what's the time difference for you, Charlie? What time is it with you down in Bermuda?
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, that's all right, isn't it? It's only 4 hour difference, whatever it is.
Yeah, 4 hours difference. Yeah.
Oh, but Charlie, are the same time as Bahamas?
I think they're an hour or so difference than here.
Okay, yeah.
They're over 1,000 miles away from here.
Right, my son's there on his honeymoon. That's why I asked you.
Okay, all right. I won't disturb him then.
I will later on.
What's the time difference in Kent? Because it looks like Scotty's gone to sleep.
I'm just looking for the time. That's all.
It's so relaxed in here. That's the thing, Dave.
I think Bobo's frozen as well, isn't he?
Bobo.
Sorry, no, I'm still here. Yeah.
I thought he was asleep.
No, still
Robert, is that a
awake.
sunrise
Still
or a
awake.
sunset we're waiting for behind you?
Oh yeah, I could be waiting for something. No, that was in the middle of the desert.
Looks like he's got a halo on his head.
Bobo,
Yeah.
you don't look the same without your helmet.
No, actually, I've just bought a new helmet yesterday, and I was going to go out and do a thing on my bike, but I thought I've been jet lagged, so I haven't been sleeping very well. So, but next week I'll be on the bike.
Great. Yeah, but Bobo, it'll be late at night. No, what time will it be? What night? So it'll be the middle of the night for you, won't it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm confused. A colonel has to help me out with all the
8
time.
o'clock.
7 in the morning, isn't it?
8 o'clock. It'll be Aussie one.
It was so funny because Dubai was the easiest of the lot because they're 12 hours ahead of Pacific Standard Time. And Barbo, he had a hard time with that one.
I had a hard time. I'm getting old, so that's what happens. You get a bit fuddled with things.
He got jet lagged in Cardiff.
Yeah, I did get jet lagged in Cardiff. And Liverpool and Belfast.
That's difficult anyhow.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the crew of bar. There's only 2 of us drinking. It's me and Mr. Salty Sea Dog. So I don't know what's up with that.
Hang on a minute, Johnny. What's this?
No, it's all right. Steve's always got one. Steve's got one.
I've got my morning coffee.
Yeah, Blackpool Bob's
Hey,
just
Colonel, what's that? Non-alcoholic you drinking there?
Brandy.
It's
Bob's on the brandy.
Hey, that's not real beer.
Oh, I know Coors Light's not real beer, but it's cheap. It's cheap at Safeway.
I have a perfect excuse for not drinking tonight. I'm up at 3 a.m. to go to Manchester Airport to pick a mate up, so I'm not having any alcohol at all now.
What are you doing in the morning meeting? What?
I'm going to fetch a pal from Manchester Airport at 3:30 a.m.
Oh, flipping out.
Very right.
I passed my place there at that time.
Can I ask, is Tremble still with us?
Yeah, I've just got his email, so I'm going to send him the link to his email and see if he can get in that better.
Good. Yeah. Can you still hear us? John, can you still hear us?
There.
No.
Right, sending him his email now.
All right. Okay. All right. Now, look, can we ask, obviously, Zachary, throw one more in, a quick one, if you're ready.
Curveball.
Oh, well, I just mentioned John has been sending me these old Channel 4 episodes and things like that. And one of them I just watched was an interview of Fred from JFG, Julie, Fred and Gare. And it was on the dockside somewhere. I don't know if everybody on the call remembers. They were a band.
Very well.
JFG were a band that was on the Sun Princess in those days. And
Fred Shawcross.
Fred,
was from Manchester, I think.
Bolton.
And
Bolton.
Where's he from?
Bolton.
Okay, yeah. And Julie was this 19-year-old pretty thing that used to sunbathe topless on the forward deck. Everybody, the word would go around when she was out there. But
don't we remember?
I think this was after we'd finished the Alaska cruise, because when we were overnight for several days in San Francisco, and Dave and I were working up in the Starlight Lounge, and we decided, in honor of it being San Francisco, we'd have a gay bar, and everybody ended up with a female name. And in this interview of Fred, he was complaining to the colonel that the bar had got too camp lately. and if you remember, Dave, your name was Doris, and my brother, but through an accident, ended up with a nickname of Doris. And you said one day, "Oh, that's as ridiculous as somebody being called Doris." And I said, "What? There's nothing ridiculous about that. My brother's called Doris." And he used to go to this pub where they had these engraved glasses, and he had a mug there that was engraved Doris, right? But after that, everybody got given a female name, with one exception, and this is Andy. I know that Andy's no longer with us as well. there was a guy working on the ship called Dave Thorburn. I don't know if you remember Dave.
I remember Dave.
Yeah.
And everybody went along with the joke. You know, everybody had a female name. Des was Desdemona or something like that. Yeah. But somebody called Dave Thorburn, Selma Thorburn, and he got really angry. I thought he was going to punch him out. And after that, anytime Andy came into the bar and Dave was there, Andy would go on that without actually saying it.
Yeah, I remember it well.
Oh, it was brilliant. And he married was she a hairy or a body basher? Venka.
Venka.
Was that the Norwegian girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was, and there was another Norwegian one as well. A year later, I'm trying to think what her name was. A young blonde one. She went out with Casey.
I know her nickname. Yeah, Two Bob. Her nickname was Two Bob, and I have a picture of her, but I can't remember her real name.
Yeah.
He called her Two Bob.
You should send me the picture, Ray. I'll insert it right here so we know what we're talking about.
She's still in contact with the dish, Dave.
I worked with Venka.
Did you?
Yeah. But I remember her husband, he died, didn't he?
Yes, and David did as well, sadly.
That's why I'm saying it, because I went to visit her down south, and he wasn't the same person at all. And she cared for him till the day he died.
Yeah, very, very sad, very sad.
Yeah.
In fact, Brendan and Sherry, because they lived along the coast, because they lived down on, I'm trying to think where it was called now, something, Seaford, where they lived.
Nice place, Seaford.
And he obviously he was good friends with Brendan on the south coast, and when sadly, I think Dave and Venka both passed away pretty close to each other, and they had a daughter who was a teenage at the time, and I think she had to go back to Norway to stay with the grandparents, I believe. You know.
Oh my God! I didn't know Venka died.
Yeah. It was quite. This is, I mean, blimey, this is what happens. You know, it's a sad state of affairs for everybody. We all experience something, but that was a real shock. That was a real difficult one.
And I must intervene here and tell Salty Sea Dog that I can't afford any more sponsorship for Fatty's book. Could you change that, please?
Exactly. Was that other girl's name Eva?
Eva. Yes, it was.
Yes, I think it was. Yeah,
I remember that.
Brian Redman, the chef. There was a great picture of the chefs out on deck on the sun. You might have been there, actually, Hilda. And there was a great team photo of all the chefs. And then after the team photo was taken by the photogs, Brian, he had a picture with all the CT girls, all the hairdressers and body bashers. And he's got a picture of him there, and he's holding Eva wearing a bikini, but I mean, blimey, this bikini was with about 1 meter of cotton wool. You know, I mean, it was hardly a stitch on her. Bloody hell. Anyway, he looked happy, and the photo was really good, but that's another story.
She's still in contact with Trish the Dish.
Oh yes, from Manchester.
Yeah, she's still in contact with Eva.
And have you been in touch with Trish the Dish, Steve, of recent?
Adam?
Have you been in touch with Trish the Dish?
I've not spoke to her, but I've seen her on Facebook and that. Yeah.
You need to get him in the crew bar, Steve. That is what a crew bar director's job is.
Hang on. Zachary, and for Dave, Scotty, this one is another bollocking. All right, just so you know.
That's your fact, John. Just a second. Let me defend myself here. I did get Trish the Dish in the crew bar.
Yes.
When I was in Cyprus, remember?
Yes, you were on holiday at the time, weren't you,
Steve? In Cyprus.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I apologise, Steve. I apologise.
Yeah.
I don't take my bollockings quite easily, James.
Hey, Steve, in the end, you just get used to the bollockings and they come and go like confetti.
Straight over your head.
They do.
Anyway.
So now, Salty Dog and Dave, as in Dave and Zachary, look, there will come a time shortly where we will have to be saying farewell for this week. And Colonel, you'll give me the nods up when you want the traffic lights.
Well, I think we'll go a bit longer because of the football today.
Well, you're the only one that decided to not appear with it. All right, we all turned 2 on time.
There was other people watching it as well.
Yeah. yeah, but Gizzy was on time, and he was the only one who actually told us what the score was.
I had a live feed on the telly. And
by the way, talking about scores, you didn't ask me what the score was yesterday.
Look, Bob. I was very impressed. 4-1, and that was the last 2 goals in the last few minutes. I saw it. Yeah,
I know. Great.
So that was a good result for you.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that Malcolm Cameron's not on to talk about Nottingham Forest, Dave.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he's not. Yeah.
I say, Pete Stevens, are you in morning? You've been very quiet tonight.
Oh, yeah. Deep morning. Yeah,
Listen,
I've got Mrs. Innes to contend with yet.
But it was a good game from what we were watching. It was very fast. It was a lot of both ends hitting the post and all sorts. Pete.
Oh, it was a great game.
Yeah, it was the best. It was the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to say, I had a message from Malcolm Comley.
Really?
I asked him if he was coming in the crew bar, and he said he watches, but he's just lost his mother quite recently.
Okay.
So he said he will be in at some point, but he's just lost his mum.
Okay.
Well, and I know that Malcolm will be watching at some stage, and we understand that because Malcolm did come in a while ago. It was quite a while ago. He did come on a few times, but his commitment at the time was for his mum, and obviously we're sorry that she's passed away now. But we'll look forward to seeing him. And we send our best wishes. But also another one, Caveman, he's been very good. Keep an eye with his mum. Is anyone, because Angelo's not here this week. So Colonel, have you heard any more news from Caveman?
Yeah, no, he just says that basically, just like me and Cindy, like after this, we'll be going to visit her dad in the memory care place, which is very sad, and he has the same situation going on. So he spends his Sundays with his mother in the home. So that's why he can't come on.
Yeah. I know it's a shame. But we do carry on, and I know that everybody watches it at some stage. So thanks for recording it, Colonel.
Yeah, I'll just say something that if any of you have elderly parents in that, and they've and the brains are functioning normal, you should be very grateful. Because I'm so grateful that my dad, he lasted till 93, and he never did anything like that. But it's just very sad that when people get dementia or Alzheimer's, it's almost like it's the worst thing because it affects everybody. Yeah. Anyway,
well said.
That's my sons keep threatening to put me in a home because I'm going fucking doolally.
Bob, it's us that sends the message to your son to tell him to do that, right?
Yeah, right.
In 1974.
We keep telling him you'll cut him out of the will, so.
So Bob, Blackpool Bob, it's not long before you go to Australia, is it?
Oh, another 8 weeks yet.
8 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right, Bobo. You might have got over your jet lag by then.
I hope so.
Yeah. You got me worried about all these bloody forms now.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I tell you what, when I arrived in Australia, they just looked at my vaccination form very quickly. But the thing is, have all your forms printed out. Don't be having them on the phone.
No.
Yeah, much easier.
Just a quick one. There's an email just come through from Derek Warmington about Jeff Pappin.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody got a photograph of this chap?
Yes, I do. 'Cause I got it. I got it from Prasy. I'll post it.
Right. Well, it'll have to go to Dave for his
yeah
end of year thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've already done it, Steve.
All right. Good.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Did the American Pat? Did she come over to Cornwall with him? You know?
Yeah, I think they got married over here. I think. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're still together. I've not heard of Pat or Jeff mention Pat for years, but he did have 3 children.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
that's
assuming with Pat, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
What was Pat?
She
Pat
was a casino girl,
Casino.
croupier.
Right.
She wasn't
She said to me
mentioned
on-
in the email that Mike Carr put out. It was just his children. So I wondered if she'd passed on.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. She said to me on my 21st, "What do you want for your birthday?" So I said, "I'll have a Rolls Royce," and she bought me a little car, a little Rolls Royce car.
I was going
Still
through
got
some
it.
photos just yesterday, day before yesterday, actually, and I've got one of myself and Pat Mateer together in the slot machine alley on PP.
Actually, I think I was more than 21. But there you go.
I'll dig it out for you.
I'll dig a photograph out next week. I've got one of the big scene, Whispering Jack, myself, and Terry, the photo manager.
Terry Gibbons.
All by this swimming pool out in Javia in Spain.
Oh, right.
When we all had to go out there to visit the notary office at the same time, you know.
He was a character, Terry
I'll try
Gibbons,
and post
wasn't he?
it next week.
Yeah, Terry Gibbons was a bit of a lad as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's still alive, but unfortunately,
really?
you know, we were talking about dementia. He's got dementia, and he's in a home out in Javia now.
Oh, what a shame! Yeah,
Yeah, I keep in touch with his younger brother. You know,
I've got some great stories, Peter, about Whispering Jack, or otherwise known as the Hooligan. And I work with Kevin O'Halloran quite a lot, actually. And I've got some fantastic memories of different situations we got into.
well, I was on the Orchides with him.
Yeah, and me.
Yeah, and Gizzy.
you had the earlier memories. And Ray, what was one of the memories with Whispering Jack?
Oh God, I've got so many. The one thing that I'd read, I think I said before on a previous call, he'd go disappearing for 3 days at a time. But when we cruised up to Alaska, we were in Juneau till midnight, and he was friends with the Irish. There was a pub there. I can't remember what the name of the pub is, but it was owned by an Irish guy. And so he would always go ashore and spend the evening in the bar. And I would say to him, look, I'll handle everything. But just when you come back at midnight, just come up to work and just sort of sit to one side. And this one day, he shows up at midnight, and we wore white tuxedos in those days behind the bar.
Yeah.
And it wasn't particularly busy, but he was absolutely shit-faced. And I just said to him, look, you take care of the bar. It was really busy. It was busy, but I said, you take care of the bar. I'll take care of everything else. And this one girl sat down at the bar, and she wanted Baileys. And Kevin drank mostly Heineken, but he also drank copious amounts of Baileys. And I said, just take care of this girl. She just wants a Baileys. He's like, okay. He puts the glass on the counter, gets the bottle of Baileys, and just inverts it and fills up a tumbler of Baileys. And then he puts the bottle down next to it, and he kind of stares at it, and she's looking at him like, what's he going to do? And he picks it up, and he admires it, and he goes, this smells delicious. And then he downs the whole tumbler of Baileys, and then he puts it back down. He goes, you know, that was delicious. He goes, let's have another one. And then he put 2 glasses up, filled both of them, pushed one to her, and then drank the other one. And then later on, it got even worse because he was actually drinking the Baileys out of the bottle and spilling it all down his taxi.
Kevin.
Sounds familiar.
Well, after Whispering Jack left the ships, Terry Gibbons kept up with him for quite a while, and he was managing pubs in London. But inevitably, of course, one of the ones he was managing, the Protection Boys, started in on him. Anyway, one night when the collection guy came round, Whispering Jack was waiting behind the door for him with a cricket bat. And, so anyway, knocked the bloke into the middle of next week and did a disappearing act, and nobody's sort of seen or heard of him since.
Yeah, Kevin was very smart, and he was very good at math and things like this. But if you didn't really know him well, you'd think he was like half cut the whole time, but he wasn't, right? He
was sharp enough.
I remember him well from Flying Home.
Yeah. And I remember him well in the Dolphin Hotel when he cost me my job on P&O Ferries.
Oh, did he?
And a few rounds as well, Gizzy.
Hey?
And a few rounds.
Yeah.
That was your lucky break, Jim. I ended up there for about 25 years.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe things would have turned out different. I'd gone for the job anyway.
Brilliant. Hey, now, boys, I have got the nod, and the traffic lights have now come up. Which it's a sad moment, obviously, but only until next week. All right.
I should be missing for about 2 weeks, David. I should be.
Well, Scotty, are you on tour this way?
Yes.
We'll keep in touch. All right. Yeah. Definitely.
Peter, I will see you on Wednesday.
Week. Yeah.
Thursday?
No. I'll probably try and see you on Thursday. That's all right,
Hang on.
So is it this week you're going down on the Titanic?
We are, yes.
We're going down on the Titanic.
That was Linda Lovelace, wasn't
it? I've done a bit of research, Pete, and apparently,
the iceberg wasn't that big, and it's not there anymore.
I discovered this week that when they discovered it after nearly 90 years on the bottom of the ocean, scientists were amazed that the swimming pools were still full.
Yeah.
Mr. Inge, could I just say a quick one before we go, please?
Yes.
43 years ago tomorrow is the day that the Arcadia arrived in Taiwan to be scrapped.
Wow.
Been that long? Wow.
Yes.
That's a sad time.
The 28th of February, 1979.
Wow. Well, Adrian, thanks for that. I know Scotty was just about to mention that as being the historian. He was just about to mention it, but I'm glad you beat him to it.
I've got to give him the opportunity.
He's probably after your job.
I bet you don't know what that one is behind me.
So thanks very much for that, Adrian, and we'll look forward to next week for some more historical updates. And we're not talking about you, Fruity, all right?
Dave, did you say historical or hysterical?
Something like Taffy, I'm sorry that you didn't sort of say as much as, but the rugby yesterday, it's only a game yet again, all right? It's all done. It's okay. It's all right.
There'll be a welcome in Cardiff for you next year.
Oh.
Who are England playing, Dave?
Pardon?
Who are England playing?
Well, England will all right.
But don't forget, I'm a Liverpool supporter. You know that. My team, my soccer team is Liverpool.
Even better. Hey, no, look, for Zachary as a reminder, and obviously, as far as Dave, is Dave still? Where's Dave?
Yes,
Dave Scott.
Yeah,
there he is, Dave. Salty. Dave, at this time, we are now going to start waving, and Colonel will start playing music as we all start pressing our exit buttons off the bar stools. All right? So well done, Blackpool Bob. You started doing it already. So we'll start. Zachary, start waving. All right? That's better. That's...
This is Oscar from Ollie's Pocket with Oscar Tales. The Second World War, September 1939 to September 1942. At the outbreak of the war, on the 3rd of September 1939, the Orama, the second ship of that name, built in 1924, of 19,770 tons, had a voyage to England interrupted at Colombo, Ceylon, and was rerouted via the Cape back to England, and not arriving until mid-October. She was then requisitioned as a war troop transport, and her first wartime task was the transport of Canadian troops from Halifax, Nova Scotia, across the Atlantic to Greenock, Scotland. Ormond also joined in on this shuttle service at almost the same time. In the case of Ormond, it was the same trooping service she had performed in the First World War. Otranto, the second of that name, 20,032 tons, was in Sydney on the 3rd of September and was requisitioned that day by the Australian government as a troop ship to convey Australian troops to Britain's defence. Orchides, the second of that name, of 1937, 23,456 tons. Orford of 1922, 19,941 tons. And Orion, 1935, 23,371 tons, became troop ships and sailed in a convoy full of British troops for Alexandria in Egypt soon after war was declared. Orontes still operated on the Sydney mail and passenger service for the time being. However, Orion, on her arrival in Sydney from England on December 1939, was also requisitioned by the Australian government and sent to dry dock to refit for her new role. Early in the year of 1940, the Australian government had 4 Orient liners trooping duties for the Australian Army. They were Orchides, Otranto, Orion and Orford. In May 1940, Otranto and Orford were sailing together to Toulon, France, under the protection of the escort of French destroyer Leon, when they received a message from the Maltese authorities to sheer off and sail away from Malta and not make landfall. This they did and arrived in Toulon, where they were then sent on to Marseille. Otranto was given a dockside berth, but Orford was sent to anchorage outside the port's defences. The Orford's captain complained he was not under the protection of the port's anti-aircraft guns, and his concerns were swiftly confirmed by the German dive bombers who hit her on the 30th of June 1940, and she became disabled and on fire. The port's tugs managed to move her to another location so not to sink in the path of the ships evacuating the port from the German offensive. She then ran aground and burnt out. The ship's captain and crew managed to regain the port of Marseille and escaped becoming prisoners of war. Orontes became a troop ship in January 1940, but the Orient Line still had Orama and Ormond on the mail service. However, they were requisition ships now, and the government controlled the passenger berth allocation, and Orient controlled the mail service. Orontes became a troop ship in April 1940, and in dry dock they doubled her capacity of berths for this service. Orontes had a narrow escape in the English Channel on the 9th of May 1940, when she was attacked by German bombers. In June 1940, Orama, on a trip back to the United Kingdom, ran into the German cruiser Admiral Hipper and her escort, the destroyer Hans Lady. The result was predictable conclusion, and Orama was sunk with very heavy casualties, and only 279 of her complement were rescued and sent to prisoner of war camps. On June 17, 1940, Oronzi went to the help of the evacuation of the French port of Saint Nazaire. She was bombed and lost her bridge and charter room, but the crew managed to keep on sailing the ship. Nearby was the ship Lancastria, and she was bombed and sunk, and Oronzi managed to rescue some of her passengers as well. She sailed back to Britain with her rescued passengers in spite of the damage, and the captain was said to have only had a schoolroom atlas to navigate by, as all the charts were lost when the chart room was hit and destroyed. After repairs, Oronzi did a child evacuation trip to Canada in August 1940, and subsequently in October did a troop convoy run to Egypt. During this trip, when the convoy was attacked, she suffered heavy engine room damage and, unable to proceed, was left by the convoy to fend for herself. The ship's engineers made temporary repairs to her engines and eventually managed to restart them. She returned to England and eventually made it back with many badly injured troops and ship's crew. She was then sent to Glasgow shipyard for repair. In September 1941, the Orion hit HMS Revenge whilst in convoy and damaged her bow, as Revenge had experienced a steering breakdown. Orion managed to keep on sailing while doing repairs en route and made the Suez Canal, and then sailed on to Singapore, where her bow damage was repaired. In December 1941, Orion went to evacuate injured troops from Kuala Lumpur in the face of ever-advancing Japanese troops. She took her casualties to Fremantle, Australia. The Orient Line offices at Fenchurch Street were bombed in December 1941, and the staff had to move in with the P&O staff in their building in Fenchurch Street. If you remember, P&O actually had owned the controlling interest and 51% of Orient shares since 1918. The Ministry of Shipping ordered Orient Line to take on the management of the Dutch Netherlands Royal Mail Line in 1942. Their ships were the Christian Huygens, the Johan van Oldenbarnevelt, Johan de Witt, and the Saint Aldegonde. The ships retained their Dutch crews. Also, the shipping board gave 2 Liberty ships to Orient Line to manage. They were Sam Kanza and Sam Everon. In 1942, Ormond was given a refit and could now carry 3,500 troops at any one time. Otranto rescued a lifeboat from the Blue Funnel steamer Tuscan Star on the 6th of September 1942. The lifeboat contained the British Consul General of Brazil, the ship's captain, and women and children passengers. She had been sunk by U-109. And in the next programme, we will examine the rest of the Second World War. Well, that's all, folks, for this week. From Oscar. Oh, and always remember...
Oscar!
Come on, man, go to sleep. Yeah, Cindy.
Right to your right.
Oscar, Dave, come and see you. Thanks for all your Christmas presents. Pat's here as well. Pat. And you've got Ollie over there. Ollie's there.
Oh my God, I would recognise him as well. You haven't changed that much.
Ollie and then Steve.
I would have told you would. Actually, I was raised for the great.
For one night only.
How are you doing? Anywhere you like.
There's a seat down here for you if you want to, yeah.